Good morning, Sangha. Good morning. Warm greetings from Redwood City, California. Nice to be with you all. It's great to see all of the greetings rolling in from all over Scotland and Santa Cruz, Petaluma, Moss Beach, Sacramento. So many different areas up above in the chat that I didn't see as well. So welcome, all of you. Happy to be here with you. And as a reminder, our topic this week is factors of mind that support wisdom, stability, unification. And they support it in both meditation and in daily life. So to just take in your global Sangha as you're sitting in here, settling in here, and allow any feelings of warmth, happiness, connection to really soak in, to savor them. Maybe smile at your Sangha mates, even though they can't see you. And feel how that feels in your body, in your heart. And as you're ready, please settle back. Find your meditation posture and go inward. Starting out just by feeling into whatever sensations, emotions are present. Maybe allowing any excess energy or tension to be softened, released on the out breath. Feeling into the goodness of the breath itself, the body itself. And the feeling of being connected to others and to your own breath, your own body, your own inner life. Feeling welcomed to be here in this moment, right now. Noticing the entirety of this body from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Noticing the vibrancy, the aliveness. Be tingling or pulsing. Movement. Stillness. Weight. Lightness. Noticing the movements of the chest, ribs, belly. And tuning into your body breathing. I'll offer instructions on breathing this morning, but feel free to use other objects of attention if they work better for you. Overall sensations of the body, sound, metta, any of those are fine. And tuning into the motion of the ribs and the belly, sensations of the life's breath, connecting us to the outside world. Noticing all the sensations on the in-breath as the ribs expand, the lungs expand. Noticing how it feels at the top of the in-breath. That fullness, perhaps slightly pleasant or neutral. Then on the out-breath, noticing all of the details, the little micro sensations within each out-breath. Tuning into every little detail of when the out-breath ends. Perhaps there's a tiny pause, a still point at the end of the out-breath. Allowing the breathing to be natural. And attending, connecting with the breathing in the foreground. Acknowledging everything else. Perhaps smiling at any thoughts or distractions that come up. And returning, connecting and sustaining your attention. On the gentle waves, riding the waves of the breath. Allowing the gentle motion of the breathing to massage the muscles in your core from the inside out, softening, relaxing. Perhaps noticing the feelings, sensations of the breathing in the throat, back of the mouth, nose. All the way down, throat to the heart center, chest, diaphragm, and belly. Following the whole body of the breath. Rising, falling belly. Sensations of in breathing, sensations of out breathing. Noticing Acknowledging any feelings of ease, slight feelings of pleasure or comfort, interest. In this close contact with embodied experience. And if there are any feelings of contentment and ease, pleasure or happiness, allowing them to be there, giving them space to grow if they want to, subside if they do, and graciously being with all of experience, of each in-breath and out-breath. No wrong experience. From time to time, reconnecting with the texture of this moment. All of the little details, especially the details of the breath. Perhaps a sense of relief or release at the end of the out breath. The goodness of nourishment from the in-breath. Reconnecting. Staying close. staying close to the experience. Noting any sense of relaxation, ease, contentment, enjoyment, just diffuse to grow through the body, inviting compassion, kindness of being with everything else, while inviting it to fade to the background. Noticing the effects of each breath in the body, the expansion of the whole torso, perhaps a rippling through energetic resonance through the rest of the body, transpiring, massaging breath through all of the body, massaging, allowing good feelings to ripple through, scintillate through as they will. Resting, resting in contentment in the moment. In the final moments of this meditation, the invitation is to gather up any good intentions, little glimmers of contentment or ease, calm or joy, and savor them in this body, in this heart. If it was difficult, savoring the compassion, the willingness to be with. And then turning your internal gaze outwards towards your life. All of the others you may come in contact with directly or indirectly. And offering any sense of goodness, kindness, compassion, care for them. Making the determination that this practice be of benefit to yourself and to all of those your life touches. May all beings everywhere be happy, safe, peaceful, and free. Thank you for your practice. Good morning, Sangha. Welcome to those of you who tiptoed into the YouTube stream a little bit late, and to everyone else. So today is day 3 of a 5-day series on factors of mind that support stability, wisdom, deepening in meditation practice and in daily life. We started with fundamentals on Monday of mindfulness and practice intelligence. And yesterday I introduced the first 2 of 5 jhanic factors for stability and samadhi, concentration. And those two were connecting with the meditation object and sustaining that connection, also known as vitaka and vichara. So when connecting and sustaining, vitaka and vichara begin to build a rhythm of continuity, then often good feelings will naturally result from them. The Pali terms for these pleasurable experiences are piti, P-I-T-I, and sukha, S-U-K-H-A. And they are roughly translated as meditative happiness and contentment for sukha, and meditative joy for piti. They are the third and fourth of the 5 jhanic factors. Excuse me. Sometimes in contemporary culture, people have been raised to feel like it's not okay to feel, to really enjoy joy and happiness. So if this happens to be you, please consider this talk enthusiastic permission to savor these forms of meditative goodness. Savor them, enjoy them. It's important to savor and enjoy them when they arise, because that encourages them to arise more often. The Buddha talked about these forms of goodness being healthy, onward leading, and to be cultivated, not to be feared. It's also helpful to note that cultivate here means cultivating the underlying conditions for joy and happiness to arise. We can kind of have a little control over reconnecting with our experience with the meditation object. And we can kind of have a little bit of control over sustaining that connection over time. These feelings emerge naturally from that. They don't come on demand, and you can't just make them appear necessarily. So savor, but not demand. So the Pali word piti has a broad word cloud of translations or meanings. I'll read some of them here. Please tap into your body and feel how they feel as you hear them. Joy, satisfaction of mind, positive interest, rapt interest, delight, zest, zeal, exuberance, mirth, merriment, exultation, thrill, and rapture. So you'll notice there's a broad range, and one is not necessarily better or deeper than another. Piti has this large cloud of meanings because of this wide range of ways it can be experienced. It's energetic, embodied, and it can manifest as anything from a sense of positive interest to a little pulse of momentary delight to uplifting joy, all the way through to rapt interest in the kind of bubbly joy or tingles, rain-like feeling. Many practitioners find that as their practice deepens, these feelings actually become more subtle, not stronger, though they can be quite strong sometimes. And some people never experience them at all, other than the mild interest or the pulse of joy every now and then. It's all good. Stronger is not necessarily better. At its simplest level, this meditative joy is the joy of being present, closely in contact with the moment in a way that helps an energetic resonance to arise. And that's available to all of us. Like sukha, Piti is an embodied mental quality. So to explain both of them a little, I'm going to draw on one of yesterday's similes. So if connecting is placing your hand on a friendly furry cat, and sustaining is stroking the fur, stroking the cat, then Piti is the purring that results from this natural pleasure of connection and sustaining. It can also arise from another kind of joy called pamoja in the Pali, Pamojja. And that kind of joy, it's a condition for Piti, but it also arises itself when the heart and mind have let go of hindering mental qualities, unskillful qualities. And Piti and Pamoja can also emerge with the joy of generosity, with the joy of letting go in a wholesome or skillful way. So there are more than one pathway into meditative joy, and there's more than one progression it can go on. And this series this week is one of those progressions. Gil has talked about another one, which is the gladness pentat, I think he calls it. So you'll notice that this is an important quality in Buddhism because of that rapt interest, that zeal, enthusiasm. It appears in several lists. So that joy of generosity that can give rise to Piti reminds me of a story. This is from a scientific study. Wonderful researcher who I'm completely blanking on the name of right now invited research participants to give away cupcakes to total strangers. They were provided the cupcakes as part of the study. And what they found was that the giver received this pulse of joy from the giving, especially when the giving was done with kindness, warmth. Not only that, that giver underestimated how good it would feel to give, right? So there's this giving over to the practice, either generosity with others or giving over to the practice, a kind of letting go that opens the door to joy and happiness. Sukha, the happiness or contentment piece, is subtler, and it also has a word cloud of meanings. You can feel into these. Agreeable, pleasure, ease, well-being, the feeling of being blessed, gladness, happiness, contentment, being pleased, and bliss. So, Sukha is present along with Piti, the more energetic resonance, purring of joy. And it's softer, it's subtler. So it's kind of invisible sometimes when Piti is present because it's overshadowed by the more broad energy of Piti. Sukha is more like a calm happiness, a pervasive pleasure. It can be a little like that happy, contented glow after a good laugh, a really good laugh. And like Piti, Sukha can emerge in other ways. One of the most powerful is from what the Buddha calls the bliss of blamelessness, ethical conduct, and recognizing that we haven't done anything to harm others. So to finish the cupcake story, it turns out that people receiving the cupcakes, they valued the warmth and friendliness of the person giving them more than they valued the cupcake itself. And not only that, the sense of happiness, that calmer happiness, pervaded the day of these people for long after the receiving happened, and made them more likely to give to others through that day, to pay it forward, so to speak. That lingering happiness, that's the sukha. The pulse of joy in the giving, that's more like the piti. An ancient commentary of the Buddha's teachings called the Atta Salina tells a story of a person finding an oasis or forest after crossing a desert, and then hot, frustrated, exhausted, that pulse of joy at stepping into the shade and finding a beautiful, cool spring to take a bath in. That the Atta Salini describes as piti, an analogy for piti. Then sukha is the ease and contentment of resting after emerging from that cool spring on a hot day. So perhaps one of the greatest teachings, takeaways from tasting or learning about this kind of meditative joy, happiness, is that we have the capacity to experience joy and happiness with very, very little from the outside world. Almost nothing is required, not buying anything, not beauty, possessions, or fame, but rather attending with kindness and devotion to every unfolding experience within. That's a gift. And that's how these experiences are most fruitfully regarded as gifts, emergent quality. Pursuing them, grasping them, scares them away because they can be really shy. So the Buddha said that these are pleasures to be cultivated. And it's important not to attach too much, to grasp too much. This is where the mindfulness and the practice intelligence come in. While it's not the same thing, another way of cultivating these can be to open ourselves to simple joys, pleasures, contentment out in the world. It's a good way of teaching our systems how to recognize the meditative joys within. So your homework, your assignment, if you would like to accept it, is to notice today, over the next 24 hours, moments of pleasure, joy, contentment, happiness, and really feel them, savor them. As they come to full fruition in meditation, they support unification, ekagata, and that is our topic for tomorrow. So thank you for your kind attention.